Oh, for some reason, I felt inspired to do this video, and it is for all the empaths, all the overwhelmed empaths, um, who are being too open, too polite, too trusting, too all that, meaning you went overboard and you are here to love yourself. You are here to come back to balance because you are out of balance. You had too much compassion for other people and no compassion for self. And just to make my point, to see the spiritual meaning behind all of this that I'm saying, because this is all about that. It's about us growing, moving, and leaving certain habits behind. Uh, there were times when it was needed for us to be really loving, very loving, in order to keep the balance because the world was very dark, even darker than now. I know that some people might disagree with me, but if you think back into, let's say, the 1300s or something like that, your daily life, or even earlier, your daily life was about survival, and it had really harsh uh, environments. Of course, for some souls, it is still harsh environment because they did not learn their lessons. So each consciousness is experiencing according to their learned lessons in past lifetimes. So, whomever, you know, but some of us went overboard, meaning overboard spirituality, traditional spirituality, which was teaching you to always be kind. I'm not saying don't be kind, but when you sense something, when you sense something beyond appearances. This is what I mean, okay? I did not say you need to be aggressive and go on the other side of the horse. No, this is not what I'm saying. But for example, for some reason, like a few years ago, I've seen this movie, Lovely Bones. I don't know if you've seen a movie, watch the trailer or watch the whole movie. Interesting. It will uh, make you understand certain things. Of course, it depends on what level you are, what level of consciousness you are, and based on that, you're gonna have certain insights or not at all. And I was thinking back then because I always wanted to understand life. I always wanted to understand what puts us in a certain situation, what frequency I'm holding, which attracts those experiences to me or those type of people. And a lot of times, because our nature is so much in this helping and wanting to help and save certain people, old paradigm, of course, because we are not here to save anyone. But we did not know that. And so Lovely Bones, is a very good example for that, how the kid is lured into um, a place by a neighbor who lives very nearby. Actually, the whole family knows the neighbor. He seems a nice guy. He lives alone, right? He's, you know, looks okay, seems friendly, and all that. But you see, a little girl and how we are like when we are like 13, 14 years old, and how we are so vulnerable because we believe that the world is all good, which is all good. I did not mean that you need to be afraid, um, on a continuous basis. But us, empath, has this, like traditional dogmatic spirituality gave us this rose colored glass and did not say, hello, kids, use your intuition, because intuition is your, leading edge in this physical world. And so we have our gifts, but we did not really use it. We felt it, we sensed it, and but we did not use this beautiful gift that we have. And in this very dramatic movie, actually, you can see how she feels, how she senses, how she does not really want to go into that place because she senses that something is not right. But what puts her into the situation is politeness. This, which is taught by society and which we are conditioned to. We are in the program, we are conditioned to disregard our intuition. Nobody really teaches you to hold your intuition the dearest. And when you feel, sense something, don't think that it is all just fear without reason. Okay, because this is what they're still lost in the mind a lot of times, people, because they are still trying to figure things out with their mind. But life is not about the mind. Life is beyond the mind, and being staying on a safe path, meaning you're always safe. However, intuition should never be disregarded on this path. And how this little girl disregards her intuition and regards, and just because somebody tells you, oh, don't be you know be polite, stay polite, I mean, how is that? Or you're conditioned to watch out for other people rather than for yourself. And you don't want to insult them. You're afraid, because you've been all this pleasing others. You get born into this thing. Maybe your family is like that. And anything which involved to be true was really, really disposed, and they did not want to hear it. Not your parents, not your grandparents, or whoever. And actually your whole surroundings was this conditioned environment. And so how would you know, right? So you have to grow up, or if you're lucky enough, you get born into a family uh, where they teach you that, where they allow you to be you. Not everybody is born into a family where they are um, constricted and not allowed to be themselves. But a lot of us empaths were born into family like that. We're born into in sleeping people, conditioned people, because most of them are. And let's face it, most of them never wake up in this lifetime. And so, since we are in this change and many of us are awakening, we want to understand our own brain, we want to understand our own emotions, we want to understand how it feels to feel our intuition. We really want to be present in ourselves so much that we no longer put ourselves on a destructive, self sabotaging path. And this movie just perfectly shows how she feels, but she also disregards her intuition. And you see, maybe why I'm speaking about this, because I've been disregarding my intuition before. I felt certain things regarding people. I believed their pretenses. I believed all those fake people. I believed what they said. I believed what they asked. And all of their whole being was all about fakeness and lie and hidden agendas. And so manipulation and distortion and distraction. And this is what we did not see. We did not see reality. We did not want to see reality. And they're still out there, all those teachers and all those people who are promoting being fake, being false being, because this will get you somewhere. No, it won't get you anywhere anymore. In a lying world, yeah, but I mean, if you are a pure soul, in that sense, you really dig yourself out of the whole insanity, all those programs. You've been understanding yourself, you've been on this path for a long time, and you actually just finally realized that you did wear this dogmatic purple glasses, which only wanted you to see the purple and rosy clouds. Yes, be positive. Yes, I did not say go into a negative and be afraid, but take your senses with you, empath. Feel, sense, when somebody is showing you something and they are not that at all, and you feel this discordance in your energy because you pick up on these sign, all those signs, all those are like, it feels like it's a symptom in you. It feels like it's something like it's in your stomach. It's like, and then you sense that it's burning. And when you tune into another person's channel, which is not the equivalent of your purity, because you have done the inner work, you have cleansed yourself, you have understood all of your sub personalities, you've been purging, you've been cleaning, you were cleansing, you're on this path for years because you are really understanding all of your emotions and conditioning and all that stuff that you've been subjected to. And then you have this heightened, the more conscious you get, the more heightened your intuition gets, the more heightened your ESP gets, and you will be able to tap into past timelines to see the past timeline with that person. You also will be see and you will feel the present in vibration. And then you have to see what projection do you have regarding them. Are you chasing something? Do you want anything from them? Because the moment you have an agenda yourself, you are going to put yourself in a self-destructive pattern. So you have to stay really observant of yourself, all of your senses, tapping into the Akash. You see it, and you also see the future because it shows you if you keep going on this path where you're going to end up. And it had been all shown to me. And you see, maybe I did put this because we are creating our own life. We have created our path for the purpose of our soul, whatever that we want to achieve, actually, in that sense, even if that is getting back to your true self essence and monad without distortion, without social and family conditioning. And so you're going to see all of it. And this is why a covert narcissist telling me I am dangerous, because I see through it all. And of course, for them, I'm dangerous. Yes, because they cannot fool me no more. And so that is why it is very important, if you really want to live with inner harmony within yourself, you have to disregard to be polite and keep being polite to people who are who don't want anything but really hurt you. They really always tell on themselves that is true. And they always say, even at the first meeting, he said, well, how did he say that? Don't let me pull you down. This is exactly what he wanted. And even in my dream, later on when I had my little learning curve in that sense, and the greatest lesson that I've ever gained in this lifetime was about he only wanted to take away my faith in myself, my faith in trusting my intuition, and it really was acting like a scrambler. I swear to God, it was like a really, really like my when I spend more and more time with this person, I felt like I'm getting into confusion. I was like really my everything was like so screwed up. I was like all of a sudden my beautiful, peaceful life turned into a havoc. It was like insane. Why? Because I also started having certain agendas, and although I've seen it with my brain, I understood everything. I knew everything about it, and yet there was this old dream that I had, like a long time dream. But I have changed since then, and I did not know that that long time dream was obsolete. But I thought, okay, the moment I met this person, and we had many lifetimes together, past lifetimes, I've seen it. I've also seen the future, what's going to happen. And I've also had this incredible feeling of, oh my gosh, it's like it was like a magnet pulling me, but at the same time, it was like I had this incredible puke feeling a lot when I was not in the vicinity of this person. When I was with him, he was like a mirror. It was like it felt so good. It was really nice to talk to him like for hours and hours. And then when I was away, all of a sudden I felt like it's a lie. It's a lie. This is a lie. I could never trust this person. I could never trust this person. And you see, these are the things that you need to really notice when you are away from people like that. Because what you feel is really very important. And don't try to over, how can I say this? Don't try to convert your intuition into a mental crap, because the mental crap is like, okay, you have to look at it this way. No, 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 no. I don't have to look at it no fucking way. I only have to pick up what my body feels and what my senses are telling me. And my senses are telling me, walk away, get the fuck away from this person. Because the funny thing is, the more time you're giving to them, the more you confused you're getting. You have to see that it is not bringing you balance. It is not bringing you anything like that. Okay. So you need to know how to trust yourself. And self faith and self trust is taking over. So, empath, please listen to your intuition. And if you want, I recommend watching the movie. Okay. Meaning, but only in a spiritual sense. Just see how this little girl is really lured into something, and how he's telling her, I am not gonna hurt you. And they exactly gonna do that. If they're telling you that I could never hurt you, and I had relationships like that, and exactly at the end, it was like exactly that. And so, no matter how nice they seem, no matter how uh, sure they seem, and I didn't know the other day why I started watching, and there is always a reason, So empath, always pay attention to what you are guided to do, what you're guided to watch, what you're guided to see, because there are some clues in there for you to understand things really, really well. And I watched also, and those are like really, not nice movie in a sense, but I wanted to understand it. So after certain so-called abuses, we want to understand. And of course, we abused ourselves. Of course, we have to see that part. We have to take our responsibility really, because all abuse is self-abuse in a sense. It's the self um, betrayal, it's the self deception. And that has to be taken out of you, because the problem is that when you're getting into such dynamics, you are going to get further and further away from your self trust, and you're sacrificing for maybe attention, or you want other people to see who you are, and you are willing to betray yourself for that, for attention. and that's when you're gonna meet regret later. So there are just a lot of those things that we really need to take into consideration and see the whole picture, like all of it. Because let's say there is this huge cake with 24, I don't know, slices. So you have to go above it and look down, and you have to see all 24 angles, because maybe there is more, you see. So basically, if you are like me, and if you are an intuitive empath, and you've been disregarding your um, intuition before, you had this experience, but also you have to know that the experience was created there for you to get the greatest lesson that you're never going to forget ever again. Because when somebody is telling us, we we don't take it seriously, and we're learning through our experiences to really make it stick. Like how you're really going to be so much more observant and not entering into relationships or friendships or anything very fast. In fact, you keep it at arm's length, you see. So you just going to be in your corner. You're going to be in your corner because you don't know what people have, what kind of intentions they have. Of course you do when you pay attention, and when you are in self, you will have a lot more, a lot stronger intuition, and listen to your intuition and never engage with anything outside of you which feels not right. It feels, something feels off, no matter how nice they are, no matter how kind they are. You have to listen to your intuition. This is the whole point. And I was watching Stepfather, Stepfather 1, Stepfather 2, and Stepfather 3. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is exactly how that guy looked for me. When I think back, it was like this very very nice, very like this. Oh, this is so passive. It was a passive aggressive. It was a covert narcissist. Appearances. Plus, he was an interrogator. He was a policeman. So I mean, they learn, psychology. They learn whatever. And who knows, it's not about bashing him or anything like that, because the funny thing is, just prior to our meeting, I said, I could even love a killer. Because it's like, us empaths are like this. We understand them so well that we love them. We have this, we really feel sorry for them because he was after a divorce, and and all this. And then but on the other hand, we kind of feel, something is not right. And so they learn psychology. And the funny thing is, being immersed in such job or something like that, you know, let's face it, if you immerse yourself in something day by day, with criminals, with this, with that, it takes a toll on their soul too. And even though, maybe that is for the job, but because they have to be very calm looking on the outside, holding them together, not showing fear or not showing anything when they're interrogating, let's say, a criminal or something like that. But let's face it, all those people, there are like really high stressful jobs, but you don't want to get or being lured into such life with someone like that. And the funny thing was, even my dream said, this could be just like your previous marriage. I got it all. I had all the messages. But it was like, in the moment when you are not careful, and when you are mesmerized by, let's say, a good looking guy or a good looking woman, or something like that, you have a tendency to really disregard your intuition for the sake of the moment. And so for empath, it's very important, to have your self-compassion and intuition as a guide and nothing else, not the five senses, because we've been misled by our physical eyes or physical ears, or let's say beauty or good looks, or something like, I don't know, somebody has, I don't know, 10 businesses or something, and you really have to overlook all of that and really tap into your intuition, and really allow the intuition come through, and not to be misdirected by your ever explaining mind, or let's say by your conditioning that may be lurking there, because maybe that part, that little debris had to be taken out of it in order to come back home to yourself, to be fully self partnering with self, and not ever again, have the tendency to disregard yourself for wanting to partner with other people, because it makes a big difference in your life who you want to be partnered with. And I'm telling you, once you awaken, and once you really are really this very observant and very integrated empath, and you really know who you are, and you really respect your own intuition and sensory perceptions, you're not going to be lured into crap like that. So that is like winning the lottery, I'm telling you, because that is everything. So this is all I wanted to say. So if you really want to watch those movies just for the spiritual purpose of it, um, if you cannot, then don't do it, because then maybe you're not strong enough. But great learning experiences. It's definitely for the empath. If you ever want to be integrated empath and not overwhelmed empath, a lot of learning in that. Thank you for listening. Bye.